Welcome to As We Get Older. I'm Laura Ornduff, and for this video, I want to speak to those of you who are going to medical appointments with your loved ones. Now, what I'm going to offer may seem a little harsh, but I want you to hear me out. For the most part, be quiet. Now, I know immediately many of you are just kind of immediately getting offended, and I don't mean to be offensive. I don't want you to be offended. I know you're thinking, but I'm there for a reason. I have information to give to the doctor. Yes, you do. You have very important information to give to the doctor, and the doctor wants to hear it. Yes, you do. But hear me out. When I would go with my father to the neurology appointments, almost every single time, the first question would be, have you fallen since the last appointment? Now, my father had Parkinson's and Parkinson's-related dementia. So, I knew the answer. Unfortunately, many times it was not zero, but I knew exactly. I knew if there had been hospitalizations. I knew that. And I could have answered the question and it would have been resolved. Question answered, done. But that wasn't the only thing the doctor's looking for. He was also looking for, did Dad comprehend who was speaking to him? Did Dad comprehend the question? And how well did he comprehend the question? Could he respond? How well did he respond? How well did he communicate? Was Dad answering out of our reality or his reality? He was looking at all that. Then he was also looking, because again, with Parkinson's, how he was able to form words. Did he choose the right words? Again, as the disease progressed, he didn't always have the right words. And then once he had the words, how well did he form the words in his mouth? So the doctor was looking at all of that, not just did you fall or not just yes, no, or a number. And he was also taking that information and comparing it to the previous visit and then the previous visit before that, and looking at what was the trend and the progression of this disease. Now, you do have that information. You want to share that. That's in the appointment that the doctor will, once they kind of get what they need from the patient, they'll look to you, they'll make eye contact, they'll talk to you. But in my situation, many times there was, again, with Parkinson's and the progression, because Dad had other illnesses, I needed to give him just a few bullet points so he would have that information going into the appointment. Now, I was Dad's healthcare power of attorney, so I could go into the patient portal. Now, if you don't know what the patient portal is or you've never used it, talk to your doctor and say, hey, this sounds like a really good thing. How can I use it? Now, in my situation, I would write a few bullet points. Now, let me stress, you are not recreating War and Peace or Game of Thrones. You are not recreating those books. You are doing very simple bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, get to the point. If your patient had a fever 2 weeks ago, a fever, not 3 paragraphs about it. So I would put that in 3 or 4 days beforehand. Now, the reason I did 3 or 4 days before the appointment was I did not know what the neurologist's practice was when they would receive something in the portal, how long it took to get to be on the doctor's desk. Maybe the doctor was on vacation and he came in 2 hours before Dad's appointment and then wouldn't have seen it. So I would try to get it a few days beforehand. Now, I will admit a couple times the appointment slipped up on me and I missed that window. So I would type up the information on a piece of paper and I would give it to the front office desk. And I will tell you, every single time with Dad's neurologist or his physician assistant, either one, they always mentioned things I had put in that letter. I mean, Again, I have nothing but the highest praise. Dad's neurologist and physician assistant were wonderful. I love them. And so they use that information in the appointment. Now, what happens if your patient is in the hospital? You don't have the patient portal that you can do ahead of time, or you're in the room when the doctor comes into the room. If you have information you feel is vital for the patient and the doctor to know, when you go to the restroom, when you go to the cafeteria, just stop at the nurse's station and tell them what you have, and they will make sure you get that information. Now, when you are working with the doctors, I will tell you, many doctors assume the family is going to interrupt. I saw this very clearly when my mother, this was about 3 weeks before she passed, and she was we were admitting her into the hospital, and basically the hospitalist, or excuse me, it was palliative care, was talking to her, kind of assessing to see what her understanding was, and the doctor was not happy that Mom wanted me to stay in the room. It was not hidden. The doctor physically turned her back to me. She wouldn't look at me. And Mom, I'll be honest, at that point, she was exhausted. She was terrified. And when the doctor would ask her questions, she would say, "Let Laura answer." Now, I'm in the back because I know what the doctor's looking for. The doctor's looking for Mom to answer. I'm being silent. The doctor is not even acknowledging me at this point. And Mom kept saying, "Let Laura, let Laura." And so finally the doctor just, was very frustrated. And I reached up and I said pretty much what I've said in this video. The doctor is looking for your words. She wants to hear your comprehension, your understanding of the situation. At that point, the doctor became a different person. She physically turned her chair and she started including me in the conversation. Now, I let Mom answer first, but then when Mom gave as much as she could and the doctor needed more information, she would turn to look at me. But that's where I'm encouraging you to be that wonderful support person and help the doctor understand that you're there to be the support after the patient answers all those questions. Now, I hope this has been helpful. Hope this has given you a few things to think about. If you have questions, you have concerns, talk to your doctor, talk to your medical team, talk to anybody in your medical team saying, hey, when I'm here, I've got this situation. How should I address it? Maybe, you're talking to one doctor and say, hey, when I'm at this other appointment, what's the best way I can communicate? Let your medical team help you. Talk to each other. Help them help you. So I hope this has been helpful. If you like what you see, explore some of my other videos in my YouTube library. And if you like what you see, please click the subscribe channel. See you in the next video.